Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I've tried to take some time off, just be me, but it seems that as I've sat around, the chorus of people who want me back is getting louder and louder, and it can't be silenced. And so it was with uh, great pleasure that I come back to say this. If you want me back, I'm back. So to everyone out there wishing for the angriest man to come back, I'm back. And I'm here for it. So I say, let's get into the show. Okay? I'm going to do a quick audio check on some stuff. Just make sure everything is running correctly. And we'll get into it. So, how has everyone been? Doing well? Been doing okay? Hope so. Life has been challenging for me. Not getting to be angry has sometimes been daunting, but I think I did pretty well. I think I did pretty well. I Are we all good? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I tried my best. I tried to simply let things move on, let things go. And, well, they didn't quite go as expected. And so I'm back. So everyone who was asking for me to come back, everyone who was asking to see the angriest man in Orlando. Well, you got your wish. I'm back. And I'm angry. And I'm ready to go off on some stuff. So let's get into the show. Let's talk about what we usually talk about, and let's have a great night. Fair warning, this may get loud, this may get annoying, and you may become as angry as I am at some stuff. So feel free to turn off or turn back on whenever you feel like it. So let's get into it. Okay. Let's talk politics. We haven't talked about that in quite a bit, so let's go with that first. This is the angriest man in Orlando, so we are going to keep stuff local tonight. We're going to talk about the city of Orlando. It seems their Mayor Buddy Dwyer, is actually timed out on his mayoral cycles. He won't be running for re-election. And let me just see what the next election is. Yeah, that's going to be in, looks like 2027, if I have this correctly. So we've still got a couple of years, but apparently that is when that is going to be coming up. And we've already heard of a few candidates who are already throwing themselves into it. Anna Eskamani has declared she's running as Democrat. Possible potential is Val Demings, who we know quite a bit as former U.S. representative and was a nominee for U.S. Senate in 2022. But as I say, Mayor Buddy Dwyer has declined. I believe he has timed out. And so there's some early names jumping into this race. And what I'll say about that is not the greatest. It's going to be more the same of what you're seeing right now. No one really has made anything major happen. I mean, Val Demings, she has, but nothing that stands out right off the bat as something you know they have done for the city. And so The race is wide open right now. But let me just take a minute and say this. I don't think Orlando's going in a great direction right now. I think they've stepped away from being a destination city and are now trying to be something grander, I guess. They're not sure where to go. If you look around, and I'm talking about city limits of Orlando, obviously things such as the airport, the southern part of International Drive, Disney World, those are all part of the Orange County district. So that is run by a different mayor, a different district. But within the city limits of Orlando, it seems that a lot of things are not going great right now. You have quite a few areas that are just not seeing any growth. You're seeing a lot of closed businesses, a lot of things shutting down, such as a lot of places downtown, the downtown poorhouse, restaurants such as just closed down. Actually, a little bar. Chillers actually closed down, and the two bars above them closed down. One Up has closed down. Several other places, sushi restaurants. 310 Park South in Winter Park is closed down. And I understand the area is going through some stuff, but I think what they need to focus on around here, and I am now including areas outside of Orlando, you need to focus more on being the tourism area that you are. Embrace it, go with it, don't shy away from it. And I think there's a good way to do it. It's to simply use your brand that you already have right now. The Orlando City brand. The city was known as the City Beautiful for quite a while. I think they still try to use that moniker, but they've simply just gotten off of that. They have a new project they're trying to develop called the Canopy, which is basically going to be under the reformed I-4, which is going to be a walking park. And for anyone who remembers that area before I-4 got remade, it wasn't a great area to begin with. It was mostly just parking areas and such. And now has become home to a lot of the homeless here in Orlando. And I think that's something that they need to focus on fixing that. But how do you fix that? Well, you start bringing in affordable housing. Obviously, yes, the luxury apartments were great for the last few years. Everybody wanted a piece of it. You could raise the rates on all those stuff. So you could almost get whatever you wanted. But the rates are going down now. Rents are going down. Check, apartment list, apartments.com. Rents are going down. There's several reasons for that. I'll get into real quick. Simply locals who grew up in this area are no longer able to afford the area anymore, are now therefore looking at cheaper places such as Alabama, Mississippi, some parts of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. And they're moving away. And you're losing those people, so therefore you don't have as many applicants for your apartment complex. Another thing is illegal immigrants are leaving now. And even some legal immigrants are leaving now. So you're dropping in the population that you're having in this area, and therefore rents are going to go down, which means people may actually start leaving rental houses, which are a bit more expensive, and going into a rental apartment, which is going to change everything around here. And so how do you get affordable housing in the area? Well, this is one of the things the government should be working on right now. Simply by offering tax incentives to companies who want to build cheaper apartments. The tax base is going to take a hit. You're going to have to find where you can maneuver money around to get to that place. But I think it's entirely possible. This is a pretty big city. This is not it's not a small city. We have a basketball team. They're working on getting a baseball team here, which touch on that in just a minute. This is certainly a city that people from the outside look at and see as a pretty good sized city. The problem is they look at it as a destination to come. They know there's Disney World. They know there's Universal and their new park Epic. They know there's SeaWorld. They're not coming here to see a sad downtown. Yes, office buildings are vacant at almost every corner there downtown. And now, due to rules that they have placed on stuff, the bars and restaurants are now not being able to serve late. And so that's taking a toll on everything also. You're seeing a lot of them close or move out of the area, and rents are still trying to get pushed up, and it's just not working. So if you want to revitalize the city, you've got to work with the people in the city to find a way to get back to this tourist area. One of the big things I remember in the 90s was Church Street Station. Big entertainment complex right by I-4. Beautiful bars, restaurants, places to go. You could hang out late. It was a great time. I know they tried with Ace Cafe to kind of revitalize that area, but it really hasn't gone the way they wanted it to, as in Ace Cafe has actually closed and is no longer there anymore. So you have to start getting back to your bread and butter. This is a travel city. This is a destination city that families want to come in, singles want to come into, they want to come in town. Now I know you've got the crime problem. It has creeped up in the Orlando area, not to the amount that other cities have had, but you do have to be mindful of it. And I think a few, I would say a lot, but there's been a few incidences downtown late at night with shootings where you have a certain crowd that is ruining it for everyone else. And I say, don't kill the fun for everyone else. You can set up entertainment zones, uh, put metal detectors there, put security there. To enter the zone, it's a secured area. They can find ways to get around this without prohibiting bars from serving after 12 because they couldn't get the extra security. You want people to come to the city. You want people to spend money in the city. That's the greatest thing about this type of area. And in Florida in general, with not having the income tax, it invites people to come live in the state, but it also invites people to come and celebrate and have fun. And through tolls and hotel taxes and all this other stuff, you can subsidize the no income tax. But if you're losing people because they're not coming here because they don't feel like it's a good time to come here, or they don't feel like they're getting their money's worth when they come here, then you're losing out on that incentive to keep the no income tax. So I think you have to find a way to bring people back. And what's going to bring people back is a fun atmosphere. You want them to come in and forget where they are for a bit. You want them to not remember they just spent $150 on a meal, or $250 on a meal, or a $500 bar tab, because they had so much fun here that they just didn't care after. And I know times are hard. Listen, we'll get into that in the economy and everything. Times are hard, but there are still people that have large amounts of money and large incomes that are still able to spend right now. And those are the ones you want to kind of concentrate on to say, hey, come to Orlando. This is the fun city. This is the city beautiful. They have something called DTO downtown, in which I've talked to quite a few people that come in from other areas. They have no idea what that means. Down to order, down to officiate. They don't know. It stands for downtown Orlando. And if you're from Orlando, yeah, you probably know that and are probably like, well, duh. But it is such a weird way to say it, DTO, that I don't think it's really catching on. Now, they actually have a store right near these giant letters downtown that a lot of people don't know about either, that you can go and get a t-shirt that says downtown Orlando, DTO, and all that such, that a lot of people just don't know about. They don't understand. It's weird. You hear things like Soho and Sodo, and yeah, you've heard those for decades, and you kind of know what that understands. But DTO is just not hitting. So I think you go back to the city beautiful. I think it works really well. And another thing you go back to is colorfulness. Put some color in this city. Okay? When I first got here, there were purple water mains. There were green and blue signs and red signs, and there was paint and color everywhere. And yellow pineapples and yellow buildings and red parrots everywhere. It was colorful. It was exciting. It was someplace you didn't normally see this stuff that just saw this stuff. And so I think you got to go back to that. You got to bring the color back. And I know. Painting Lake Eola's amphitheater the rainbow color, yeah, okay. People got that. People understood that. But, was that just, pandering to people? Or was that an actual, hey, we actually want something here? I don't know. It was a strange time when everything was going down back then. But I'll say this. We need to bring color back to Orlando. This drab gray and tan everywhere is just horrible. We need to put plants back into the ground. We need trees here. We need color, shade. Ripping them out and putting in solar panels or just trying to make something look just enough to get by is not the way this city should go. This city is a beautiful city and can be beautiful as long as you don't overdo it. In which I'll touch base on this. This baseball team, I do not think is a great idea. Okay, and I'll tell you why. The area you are putting it in is not suitable for that kind of an attendance to show up. I'm basing this off of Tampa. Maybe you get 10 to 20,000 people here on a hot day to watch a baseball game. But being on iDrive right by Aquatica Park is horrible. You want people to come to International Drive and go to the exhibits that are already there. Go to the restaurants that are already there. Because some of those are even closing right now. And then you want to put a ballpark in the middle of that that's just going to jam everything up even more. I'll say this, I don't know if we need a baseball team. I really don't. But to pick a better area, perhaps off of 417, perhaps even on the east side, would be far more suitable than where you're trying to put it right now. And I understand you want the attention, you want people to go to it, but there's just way too much going on there right now. So if you're really serious about a baseball stadium, put it somewhere where, not completely out of the realm of getting to, but in an area that isn't already crammed with everything else. It'll certainly seem much more pleasurable to go to the game if you don't have to fight 3 hours worth of traffic to get to it. And they have a trolley system. Yeah, nobody's gonna take the damn trolley to the game. Look at your Sunrail system. Okay? That was a big screw up. Doesn't run on weekends, doesn't run late nights. Okay, I'm trying to get to a Magic game that starts at 7. Great, I can make it there. How do I get home? Now I gotta pay for an Uber that's $40, or I gotta find some other ride or something, or share a ride with somebody. Like, that was retarded. Okay, if you're gonna have a train running, have a train running till at least midnight. Have trains running on the weekend. This is ridiculous. Almost a waste of money to even do. Look at Brightline. Brightline runs when it's supposed to run, so go with that. But this is ridiculous. So I think you certainly have to figure out ways to make this more entertaining and to make it more touristy, because that's who's there. And once you get the tourist dollars in, then you can build everything else out for the regular people that are already here, because there are a lot of people that are here that are not too happy with the way things are going, and they want things to change. So, got about 2 years to get this figured out. And I hope somebody steps up that is not like the regular people that are usually around here. You know who I'm talking about. Look at their city council. Get somebody in here who's got some vision, got some ideas, and wants to change things a little. and hopefully add a little color to Orlando. And I think that is a better way to bring Orlando back. And so, with that, we look at the economy because an economy of a city is how the city runs. So, where's our economy at? Locally, it's struggling. There's, like I say, a lot of restaurants, a lot of places are closing down, retail stores closing down. It seems that Disney did not have a great holiday weekend attendance wise, and the new Epic opened up, but the attendance looked a little low, at least from a bird's eye view. Parking lots were not full, and talk is that they possibly kept attendance down so they could run the park and see how it was going. Now, they've been running it for about a month and a half before this. So, if you haven't figured it out yet, that's not a good sign. But there is also a possibility that a lot of people that were going to show up on those first days actually bought the ticket in the preview time when it became available to almost anyone. So you may have had some people already going in early and then deciding maybe they didn't want to go again or they wanted to wait a little and go later on. So numbers look skewed. I think it's going to be a good place to go. Certainly, if you want to wait till fall or wintertime when it's a little cooler down here to go for it. I don't think it's going to be super packed because the economy is not showing a lot of resilience right now. Consumer surveys are still looking low, even though one came out today saying that it had gone up. But I'm not sure how anyone's confident right now. You know, tariffs are the big word of the day in the month, apparently. Things are getting worked out. To what ability do these tariffs have to bring fair trade? I don't know. We got to see the final numbers. We got to see how much is going on and stuff. I think it is evening up the playing field, so we'll have to see where things go from there with that. But I'm going to say this. I think July brings one interest rate drop, which will help people with credit cards, future card purchases, and all that such. I don't know if it moves the mortgage rate just yet. I think that stays high for a little bit longer. And these home prices are starting to come down in the South, at least in Florida, other places like Texas, Colorado, Idaho. They're starting to come down. Are they down where they're reasonable? No. But the simple fact that some of them are coming down does let other sellers know that that's where the market's going. It's not going up anymore. If you're lucky in the Northeast, if you're lucky in some of the cities in the Midwest, maybe it goes up a little bit. But I think for the most part, home prices are going down. Again, it's going to be a slow process with that. Next year, spring, summertime looks better, looks good. If we can get down to 5% on a mortgage rate, there's some possibility there to grab something. If you think you can get it now, be prepared to still take a little bit of a drop when you first get it, kind of like buying a new car. Buy the car, it drops 10% right off the bat. If you can live with that and go for it. But hold out for right now because these interest rates are just too high for the price. These would be fine in a regular price. If you could get a 4-bedroom, 3-bath for like $275, $300, mortgage rate's fine. It's the problem that home now is still $500, $475 range. So until you see it go down in home price, your mortgage people are wanting the mortgage rates to go down, but they don't need to do that if we get the prices down. Now, how do you feel just going to the supermarket and buying stuff? How do you feel going to the gas station buying stuff? Well, it's probably the same feeling a lot of other people are feeling right now. High-end grocery stores are not seeing the sales that they were doing. And a lot of the higher income people are now moving down to your regular grocery stores, Walmart, Target, and just buying the brands there. And so they've been able to keep pace for the most part, but even they're dropping off because their big crowd was the low income crowd. And now the low income crowd is going to really discount places or dollar stores, and they're trying to just survive with that. So everything is still kind of flushing through the pipeline right now. I think you'll get one interest cut in July and then possibly two cuts in November and December. I think you'll see manageable interest rates next year. And then you'll start to see some of the turnaround happening later this year. I think the tariffs are kind of pushing everything a lot further through than anyone was expecting. So I think it's getting to a point where the pendulum or the level is starting to get to the middle, and we're starting to see things turn around. Uh, will there be more pain? Yeah, there's going to be more pain because we're not at the bottom yet. And so, but we're starting to see signs of what could be where we want to go. So if you feel like you're losing still, just think about this. Are you paying all your bills? If you're paying all your bills right now, then you're making it. Because there's a lot of people that are not. So if you can at least do that and you can afford everything you have, you're doing really good, right? So keep that spirit in there and just go with that. And it's gonna be okay. Like we're seeing things get better. Gas prices around me are around $3 a gallon now. If you can get a discount for something like Costco or Shell or something, you can actually get $2 gasoline. Well, high $2 gasoline, but $2 gasoline, which wasn't heard of a couple of years ago. You didn't think you ever get under 4. So things are getting better. What I will say is this is, do I think they know what they're doing with everything here in the economy? No, they don't have a fucking clue. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So they're just rolling and being reactive right now to everything. And globally, there's a shift towards lower interest rates, trying to get the economy back up and pumping, and trying to make something out of nothing, which is what we have right now. So hang tight, hold on. We're going to get through this. And so I don't want to spend too much time on stuff this week because me just coming back into this. So I'm kind of jumping through stuff pretty quickly. If you do have anything you want to ask me, feel free to leave a comment, leave a like, and enjoy the video as we go. Because now we're jumping into the fun part. Modern dating. And this one might go for a little bit, so you can always jump back into this later. But let's go down the road. So modern dating is going to be different for a lot of people. I know I've talked to 20-year-olds, I've talked to 30-year-olds, I've talked to 40-year-olds, I've talked to 70-year-olds. And dating is in an interesting place right now. So let's take us back 5 years, 2020. Pandemic happens, everything closes down. People can't meet people in the traditional way of just simply going to a place, having a drink, or eating dinner with someone. So you have to do everything virtually. You have to kind of meet people online for that time. And so I think it opened up the ability to have so many possibilities of people you could meet. And I think it overstimulated a lot of people. And you had people who were just trying to find somebody to fit a spot. They didn't care who it was. They were trying to date multiple people at the same time to see which woman was going to fit in that realm of what they wanted. And it was very easy to how do I want to say this? Overpick who you wanted to be with because you were reaching new leagues with people. Like you had contact with people all over the world. And so the pendulum swung in such a way that it basically got pretty close to just destroying dating altogether. And if you've been watching my channel for the last year and a half, I kind of touched on some of those things that, like, it wasn't going good. It wasn't in a great area. People were just all over the place, didn't know what they wanted, didn't know how to properly say, this could be someone I could be with. And I think we're turning back. I think we're getting to a point where people are kind of fed up and frustrated and don't know where to go or what to do. Online dating became basically a casino where you were just pumping money into it and not getting anything back on a return. And so I think people are now going to focus on getting back to a relationship and not just dating and not just trying to see who's out there or what's going on and all that. At least in my age range, a lot of people have reached levels of stuff, some completing, some just basically are not sure where to go with it, with children, with families, with careers, with life. And they're wondering what's the next chapter? What's the next thing I should be doing? A lot of people, in previous generations wouldn't get to this till they got to almost retirement age, you know. So you're not sure what to do right now. Who am I supposed to meet? What do I want to do with it? And I've asked people this, and it's sort of most of them saying, I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. And they're starting to really look at who should I be looking for now? Rather than just saying, hey, everybody's out there. Let me go try everybody. Let me see what's going on. Let's do that. And I think people are starting to come around to a more centered look at all of this. And people are saying, okay, what do I really want? Where do I want this to go? And so I think it's getting better now. A lot of people have stepped out of the dating realm, which then leaves people who are in the dating realm actually wanting to date and actually wanting to go out with people. And so you're getting a better core of people to pick from. Certainly, I'm on Reddit. Not going to give out any usernames, so my anonymity, I guess, anonymous. It helps me be able to talk to people on there and get opinions and be able to find out research. So it's a good source to be on. Yes, there are bots, and yes, they do stupid reports every now and then. But there is a good way to find out where people are at in this world. And I think people are getting to the point where they're sick of the terms like emotionally unavailable, love bombing, red flags, all those buzz terms that everybody has been using for the last 5 or 6 years. Because think about this. Have you been watching the stuff that's been put out for those 5 or 6 years? A lot of that stuff was telling you that if you saw any of those weird characteristics, or people didn't quite match what you were putting out, or there was one weird thing that this person did, and they were all telling you, just leave. Just go find someone else. There's a lot of people out there. Don't worry about it. And I looked at that message for a while and thought, okay, maybe you should vet more, and maybe you should see stuff that might be there and possibly bail early. And while I say if there's an absolute carnage in somebody's life, then yes, if they're doing drugs or drinking or doing some kind of weird shit, yeah, get the fuck out. Okay, but I think people took that message and it's still being pumped. You can look at the shorts, Facebook Reels, you can look at Instagram, you can look at TikTok, you can look at YouTube right now that I'm on right now. You could look at that and type in how to find a good relationship. You'll maybe get a few videos on. Type who should I not see, and you will get thousands and thousands and thousands of videos on that type of subject. Who should you not be with? Who should you not be seeking? And I'm going to say this right now. You know what? Just go meet people. Go date people. Give people a chance. Sure, there are going to be some people that are going to say all the same stuff that you heard before, but there might be a few people that say something you've never heard before. Those people, check those people out because those people have an interesting way of looking at life and it might surprise you and you might actually really like them. But there comes a point where you're bombarded with all this negativity. Oh, if this girl's always going to screw you over and this guy's just always going to be a player and this and that. Not everybody is all the same. Not everybody is everybody. People are different. People are different. And I think you need to start looking at it like that. And you might find someone who maybe fits a little bit of what you're used to, but could be something else completely different. And you take a role with that and you see what they're about and you give it time and you flush it out and you see what it's about. Now, I'll say this. Not everything's going to work the first time around. Okay? Maybe it doesn't quite go exactly the way you want it to. But give it a chance. I think the dating world is not quite where it was 10 years ago, but it's not in the absolute doldrums of where it was a couple of years ago. I think we're swinging the pendulum back into the middle of where stuff is. And you may find somebody that surprises you. And I say fight for them if you find that person. If you find somebody that makes you happy and it's a happiness you maybe have never experienced before, or you maybe haven't experienced in a very long time. This may be something you felt before but never felt again and you didn't think you were going to feel, and you're feeling it now. Well, guess what? Don't do what they're saying to. Don't be like, oh well, it just didn't work. Screw this, I'm gonna go back out to the dating world, I'll try somebody else. No. Fight for it. If you really want something in life, fight for it. Actually take the time, figure out what was happening, really think about it, and come up with something and fight for it. Because I'm going to tell you something, if you don't, it's always going to be there that you didn't and you didn't know. And what's crazier is if you didn't and that other person wanted you to. Some people want that. So if you don't at least try, nothing ever happens. There's the old saying, if you set something free and it comes back, it was supposed to be with you. Well, if you set everything free and nothing ever comes back, then what the hell is going on? So I think people have got to now start seeing that the world is not theirs. It's not an open barge or buffet to go walk down and pick out what you want. Those days are over. There's nothing but, well, there's nothing but good people still there. But there's still bad people. And the worst thing I see is a good person with a bad person. I mean, I don't care if I see a bad person with a bad person. I sit there and freaking laugh at those idiots. It almost seems deserving in some cases. But when you see a bad person and a good person get together, it's freaking horrible because you know there's other good people in this world. And when two good people get together, I'm going to tell you what, It's the greatest thing to ever see. It really is. And so, if you think you're a good person, and it's very simple to ask, you know, ask yourself this: Are you a narcissist? If you're a narcissist, you'll answer yes because you're so full of yourself. But if you're not, and you feel like you do support other people and you help other people and you love other people, then go find a good person to be with. Not saying they're on every corner, but if you go out and you look, you can find them. And you may meet someone who's not used to it. You know, I knew women who went through disastrous relationships, some abusive domestically, who never were able to see a good guy because they were never used to that. And when they got with a good guy, it felt weird. It felt wrong in some cases. It felt unhealthy. It felt like they were just the nice guy. And why is he so nice to me? He's going to screw me over later. What is he doing? And sometimes people just don't have the ability to understand what's in front of them. And it takes time. Walls have to come down. Walls are put up when people get in hard times. Whether you're fighting in a war or you're going through, traumatic times or something happened to you, people put walls up because they don't want to remember that stuff. They don't want to think about that stuff. They don't want to see that stuff. So they put walls up. And sometimes people from the outside can't get in with those walls. And so when you finally see somebody who's really trying for you, you don't quite know how to handle it. And that's why I say, if you're a good person and you're running into somebody with a wall, don't take it as just, oh, they don't care about you. Take it as they've got something to go through. It's not going to be easy. It might take a lot of time. But if you really see somebody behind that wall that's worth it, damn it, get up and fight for it. Do what you got to do. Make sure you're present there. Because not fighting and letting stuff go is just a shitty way of not caring about yourself. If you don't think that you deserve a little bit of happiness in your life, well, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. Because you do. You absolutely do. So fight for what you think you want because they may want it too. And I think we're getting to a space where good people are finding good people now. These shitty ways of dating are just exhausting everybody who wasn't really into it. And they're on the sidelines now. And now's the time to step up and get into it and fight for what you want and tell people how you feel. It's not going to be easy the first go round. But if you're resilient in it, you get somewhere. And so just keep trying. Because you'll get there one day. I think you do. I think you do. All right, we're going to wrap up the show with that. Big thank you to everyone who's been, asking for me to come back. Big thank you to everyone who's been commenting and watching the previous videos. It has not gone unnoticed. I know you're there. Thank you so much for that. I'm slowly getting back into this. We're not going to say there's going to be another Tuesday show next week. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll leave you with this final thought. Life is all around us right now. Life's moving. The world is turning. Don't be afraid to jump on. Don't be afraid to ride the carousel of Earth and just have a good time. Just have fun with it. Who knows how much time there really is left? but at least you get to go around and have a ride. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see everybody on the next one.